Frank Karsten has just posted not 1, not 2, but 15 post-rotation deck lists, and in this video we are going to go through all of them, so let's go. So first up we have Amber Amethyst, so purple and yellow, and this deck is about finding the infinite lore combo, right? You are using Donald Duck coin collector to power up, or rather to tap your Monstro Infamous Whale so that you draw one and discard one, all the way until you have no cards left in the deck, and then you play We Know the Way and Ellen the Dale Rocking Rooster to keep recycling and gaining lore. So before that happens, you of course want to slow the game down, prevent your opponents from gaining lore until you hit your 8 ink, and then you play your Monstro, and then the combo pops off, right? So very interesting combo, infinite combo. Probably you won't be able to pull this off every turn, or rather every game rather. So but it is very fun and rewarding and very satisfying when you pull it off. Next we have Amber Emerald Dogs. So this is an aggro deck that of course most of us are quite familiar with the Dogs package, and yeah, so it added Under the Sea for a bit more board control because you don't want Amethyst Steel to out aggro you. So Under the Sea helps a lot in the matchup. And you have Gogo Tamago for the late game. If let's say if your opponent has a large character with lots of damage counters on it, Gogo Tamago can be your finisher. Other than that, Lady and the Tramp package, and with more songs in the format now, Ursula is a good addition on your 2 ink drop. And then Isma for you to cipher through your deck more. Isma and Bobby Zamoruski. Yep, so this is your very standard run-of-the-mill aggro deck. It does lack a little bit of board control, but you don't really want to do that because you're an aggro deck. You want to flood the board rather than control the board. So to be honest, my personal feel is Amethyst Steel is probably still the better aggro deck, but Amber Emerald could surprise a few people. Next we have Amber Ruby Racers without the locations. So a lot of people are starting to play this color combo and racers without the racetracks. So it is very hard to pull off, to be honest. I've played the racer deck before, and sometimes you have just one of the locations and you cannot play it down because it might just get challenged away. So Frank has just decided, no, I'm not going to play any locations for this color combination, and in place of the non-racers, we have non-racers rather, like Mulan, which is a very good 1-drop, and Mulan and Julieta Madrigal allows you to heal your Mulan and then draw cards. It's a mini Rapunzel for you to draw, and you have Mulan Elite Archer to shift to and do a bit of board control. Very good deck, I would say. Probably a bit more consistent than the one with the racetracks, but it's a little bit less explosive, of course, because you don't have the finish line's ability to gain 3 lore and draw 3 cards. But if you ask me, I would prefer more consistency over explosiveness. So very looking forward to try this out. Next up we have the Princesses deck. So I do see a lot of people wanting to play this because that's what Disney is about, right? You want to play as many princesses as possible. So we have the new card Aurora, the 1-drop Aurora. Whenever this character quests, you pay 1 ink less for the next princess or queen character you play this turn. So with Cinderella rotating out, a lot of people are looking to play Aurora instead. So it will be your 1 drop ideally, and then using your Aurora you can cheat out your other princesses for lower cost. So we have the 5 cost Mulan. Whenever this character quest, look at the top 4 cards of your deck. You may reveal a princess character and put it in your hand, and then board deck the rest of the cards. Yep. So, and we also have the 4 drop Minnie Mouse Sweetheart Princess. Your character's name Mickey Mouse gains support, and whenever this character quest, you may banish character chosen exerted character with 5 strength or less. Or more rather, sorry about that. So that is your big board removal. And other new cards, do we have other new cards? I don't think so. We have a reprinted card, Anna. When if you have another hero character in play, this character gains 1 ink, 1 law rather. What's 1 ink? Yeah, so very interesting. I will definitely want to try this out because there is a Mickey Mouse in the deck, and yeah, so any decks with Mickey Mouse inside will pique my interest. To round up the Ember decks, we have of course Amethyst Steel. So this is a, he calls it no challenges all questers, right? So it's very aggressive, and of course you have Daisy Duck, Donald's Dead, and Nala Undaunted Lioness. So this is a new card if I'm not wrong. Yes, it is a new card. While this character has no damage, it gains 1 law and gains resist +1. So essentially, if there is no damage counters on it, it becomes a 0/3 deck quest for 3. Very powerful, it puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. You also have of course the Tiana Pluto combo to make life very difficult for your opponent, and then you aim to win by turn 4, turn 5 ish. Yeah, of course Rhino is also very good. Turn 2 you can shift to your big Rhino, and then it has resist +2, so it's very hard to get rid of. And you have Gun 2, the return of Gun 2, 4/3 quest for 4 vanilla character. Then your only song is Strength of a Raging Fire, which is a welcome definitely. And yeah, we also have Bolt 04. This character's but this character enters play exerted, but it quests for 4, and if you have Tiana in play, nobody's touching Bolt, right? So if you are looking at an aggro deck, I believe, personal opinion, this is a better combination and deck compared to Ember Emerald. Next up we have Amethyst Emerald, evasive deck. So of course, with so many evasive characters in the deck, you want to play Dumbo, 9th wonder of the universe. So very versatile deck, I would say. It combines the card draw of Amethyst with the versatility of Emerald. So of course you have cards like Genie for you to draw. You have, what else is there? You have Pegasus for the evasive and you can draw. Rafiki for challenging. You have Iago for decks that cannot play actions on you. And then you have Elsa and Rapunzel. Pull the lever and wrong lever, definitely very good. And yeah, this deck is, I would say it's one of the top decks in the meta. Will likely be one of the top decks in the meta because of card draw and versatility. Okay, so and yeah, Dumbo is such a broken card, so I do see more people moving to Amethyst deck. So Amethyst something because of the card draws available, and Amethyst does have a lot of strong cards, either reprinted or new in Fable. So yep, definitely one of the decks to look out for. Next we have Ruby Amethyst, and this is a very tough deck to deal with because it shifts a lot of damage counters from their side to yours, and if you let this deck do what it's supposed to do, you will be in a lot of danger. So what this deck does is it shifts damage counters from their side to yours to control the board, and with Hades Ruthless Tyrant, you are drawing a lot of cards, right? Because on play and whenever he quests, you can deal 2 damage to chosen characters of yours to draw 2 cards, and then you can shift damage counters over to your opponent and you can draw more cards. And of course, the biggest reprint that this deck earns is Bell Accomplished Mistake, because you can put damage counters on yourself, draw 2 cards, and then use Bell to shift. Very, very scary deck. Ruby Amethyst has more weapons right now. Yeah, so still a very, very strong color combo, and this is I would say one of the best, if not the best, anti-aggro deck out there. Next up is Blurple, which is my personal pick if I were to go to a tournament and wanting to win it. And yeah, because Blurple is very versatile and has a lot of good cards. So he plays 8 1-drops. Personally, not a big fan of that. But his friend Karsten, he knows what he's doing, right? And he plays quite a number of Elsas and Annas. I would say he plays more Elsas and Annas than a lot of other Blurple players. So he wants to make full use of their relationship and their combos with each other. So you can see a lot of Annas and Elsas have abilities that read if the other sister is in play, you gain a certain effect. For example, this 2-drop Elsa, whenever this character quests, if you have Anna in play, you gain 1 lore. And of course, you have the 6-drop Anna, which is one of my favorite cards in the deck. Number 1, because it has support, so whenever she quests, she can give 3 strength to another character of yours. And when you have Elsa in play, you get to draw 1 card. Yep, so by making sure you have more Elsas and Annas in play, you can play off their combinations. But of course, the biggest reprint for the deck is Hades, the 7-drop Hades, 3/6 quests for 2. And whenever Hades enters play, you get to ink one of your opponent's characters. Send one of your opponent's characters to their ink well. So it's your big character removal, and with Ruby not having mass removals, Blurple is one of the biggest beneficiaries, right, other than aggro. And of course the 8-drop Elsa, which freezes 2 of your opponent's characters. So if your opponent goes too wide, Elsa is there to control and slow your opponent down. Yep, very, very versatile deck, and definitely my pick for if I want to go to a tournament and win. Next, we have Amethyst Steel. It does play Raja and Giant Cobra. I love Giant Cobra because it can be your late game finisher, and if let's say if your opponent is not playing any actions in the deck, 3-drop character for 4/4 can deal a lot of damage and you can gain a lot of value out of it. Jafar is a very, very good card in this deck because you get to play your illusion characters for free, and of course Dumbo always helps with so many evasive characters in play. And you also have the small Jafar, the 2-drop Steel Jafar, and then of course Dumbo will do his thing. Yep, so very, very versatile, and you see that there is a lot of card draw in this deck, which is something I really, really like, to the point whereby you don't even need 4 dogs, you just need to play 3 of them. Yeah, and Tinkerbell, you have the purple Tinkerbell to shift onto the Steel Tinkerbell. So one combo you can possibly pull off is use Dumbo to give the small Tinkerbell the ability to tap, gain 1 lore and draw a card. If you are low on cards, of course, because it quests for 2. Then shift to the big Tinkerbell to deal 1 damage across your opponent's board. Then Strength of a Raging Fire and the Dwarf's Mind is your board control aspect. Of course, if otherwise you have a lot of big characters to challenge your opponent's characters. Next up is a deck I know a lot of people are wanting to try out, and that is Emerald Ruby Singers. So Emerald has a lot of good songs that the new singers are very itching to try out, right? You have Mother Knows Best, You're Welcome, and does it play Sudden Chill? Let me check for a while. No Sudden Chill, but I would add it in, to be honest, depending on whether you want to make this card part of your strategy. But if you don't want to, it's fine. Heffalumps and Woozles is to control your aggro decks and slow them down. And then you have your Welcome and Clarabelle combination to make them let them have more cards in their hand that they have to replay, and at the end of your turn you get to draw to the same amount of cards as your opponent. And then you also have Under the Sea, A Pirate's Life, and Be King Undisputed. And of course you cannot play a Ruby deck without Maui Half Shark, right? So Maui Half Shark is, I would say, one of the MVPs in the deck other than Powerline. So this is definitely a deck that I want to try, and I know a lot of people want to try, and this is a rather good list to start off with. Next we have Emerald Sapphire Floodborn deck, and this is a very tricky deck to play because of the shift lines. You don't have the pieces most of the time, so the challenge over here is how can you get the right pieces to shift onto at the right time. So of course you have your 2-drop yokai, which is one of, if not the most important card in the deck, because you get to pay 1 less ink to shift your characters. So your turn 2, usually you want to either Tipo or yokai, and then after that shifting is a lot easier. So you have Clarabelle for draw, Jasmine to control your opponent's egg, especially for aggro, and then you have Down in New Orleans to play out some characters depending on your matchup and what you see in the top few cards in your deck. So I wouldn't say this is really top tier, to be honest. When it works like a charm. It's very unbeatable when it works, but the challenge is making it work, right? So and you want to increase your chances of you finding the cards that you want. And it's not versatile in the sense that you need very specific cards on specific turns in order to make the deck work, but if you manage to pull it off, this is a very strong deck. Next up we have Emerald Steel Pirates, and this is definitely a deck that I am looking at because there are more actions in the format now, because there are more actions in the format with the reprints of Smash and Fire the Cannons and Improvise, right? So what this deck does is you don't sing songs, you play actions, and then you get to recycle them using cards like Donald Duck Lively Pirate. Whenever this character is challenged, you may return an action card that isn't a song card from your discard to your hand. And then whenever you play a song, you have Mr. Smee, Efficient Captain. When you play an action that isn't a song, you may ready chosen pirate character, and you can either choose to quest or you can challenge more characters, right? So you also have a little bit of item removal with Pete Pirate Scoundrel. Of course, items are not that popular at the moment, so I might look to reduce this in this deck, right? Okay, so what else is there? You do have evasive characters, and you can also, oh yes, you have Grunge. Is that how I pronounce it? Yes. So Grunge lets you play actions that isn't song for less cost. So once again, it's a very combo dependent deck, but when you manage to pull your combos off, it can be very strong. And then of course you have Pete, Space Pirate, with so many singers around, or rather so many singers expected because everyone wants to try the new singers decks. So you have Pete, Space Pirate, to stop them from doing that. Interesting deck. I have seen quite a few people playing this Emerald Steel Pirates deck when we were playing set 5 to 8 format, so I do expect them to continue playing Emerald Steel Pirates now that we have more cards. So let's see how they do. Next up, Ruby Sapphire items. You do lose a lot, and this deck is nerfed quite a bit. So let's see how he adapts to the new meta. So you have Jumbo Pops. It's a bigger popsicle. So without popsicle, we might have to make do with Jumbo Pop. Maurice's Machine, Sapphire Koi, Ruby Chromicon, and Unconventional 2 are your other items. Not as definitely not as strong as before, but we make do, right? If you still want to play Ruby Sapphire items, this is probably the list that you will be looking at. I don't think there are new cards in this deck. You have a couple of reprinted cards, so definitely not looking to play this deck. I've never played Ruby Sapphire items, to be honest, because the games are too long for me. So yeah, I'm glad that it loses a lot of things because I like my games to be short and sweet. On to the second last deck, and that is Ruby Steel Challenger. Two colors that are very aggressive in the sense that they like to challenge, they like to remove characters on board, and then after that they take control of the game. So yeah, what are the new cards that are in this deck? I don't see. Oh yeah, we have the Brave Little Prince Mickey Mouse. Because do you play the small Mickey Mouse? Yes, you play the Foot Fight Defender, the Sticky Mickey, and then you get to shift it to Mickey Mouse Brave Little Prince. When I saw Ruby Steel, I immediately thought of this combination, using the Mickey Mouse with Resist to shift to the Mickey Mouse Brave Little Prince. Yeah, that is probably the only reason I will play this deck, because I do like my card draws, and Ruby Steel both don't have card draws. So, and it doesn't even play Beyond the Horizon, right? Because yeah, so this is a board control deck using challenges. You can even challenge ready characters, and then you have Mickey Mouse Brave Little Tailor to quest for 3. What else is there? Total of 4, 5, 6, 10 Mickey Mouses, Mickey Mice. So yeah, definitely if I see more Mickey, I will play this deck. We end off the video with Sapphire Steel allies. So for those who are unfamiliar with allies, you are using a lot of heroes and allies for you to gain momentum. And where is the key card here? But not over prepared. When you play this character, if you have an ally character in play, you draw this card. You draw a card, rather, not draw this card. You draw a card, and then you have Tipo to ramp. You have Plickly to ramp as well. Most of you are familiar with Tipo, so let's go through what Plickly does. When you play this character, put chosen characters of yours to the inkwell face down and exerted. So if let's say usually it is the Tipo, because you have already used Tipo's ability, so you may gain more usage and value out of Tipo after you play Plickly. I need to know how to pronounce Plickly. Okay, so yep, very good card over there. What else is there? So essentially, oh yeah, you have this Jasmine, the 4-drop Jasmine Shift 2. Whenever this character quests, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. You may review an ally character and put it into your hand, and then put the rest in the bottom of your deck. So yep, allies deck is has never really challenged the top tier with the new cards, or rather the reprinted cards like Strength of a Raging Fire, Seven Dwarfs Mine has always been there. I don't know what else. Let's see what. Oh yes, you have Tinkerbell. It's a huge reprint for this deck because number one, it's an ally, and number two, you can shift for 4, and number 3, it is very good board control because on play you get to deal 1 damage to all opponent's characters, and number 2, during your turn when you banish another character in a challenge, you may deal 2 damage to chosen opposing character. So even if your opponent is ready, Tinkerbell can get rid of it. Okay, what else is there? You have the Genie Satisfied Dragon. Okay, interesting. During your turn, this character gains evasive. Okay, so that is for evasive control. Yep, what else is the dog is your main card draw, right? You don't play other songs or actions, right? You don't. Okay, so I might add cards to card draw cards for the lack of better word, card draw cards in this deck to cipher through your deck and make sure you find your Jasmine and your Bernard easier. Yep, so that is Sapphire Steel allies. Yep, so 15 deck list to look at. My throat is a little bit dry already just by going through all of them. Let me know what you feel about the deck lists and which ones are you wanting to try out. With that, thank you so much for coming to the end of this video. Sending you lots of love. See you in the next one.